we got the Sixers on
And
today.
they play basketball. Basketball.
Just in case you were wondering, we support our Philly teams here.
We support them so much. I put on a Phillies like baseball shirt. Nina goes, I got a Phillies too. You look at her shirt. She's like, it says Philadelphia. That's all I know.
It was red. I thought it was.
It
I
was
thought
red and it said
I
Philadelphia.
grabbed the Phillies, and I did not. I grabbed the Sixers, so now we're in Sixers gears.
Now
That's
we
fine
are.
too.
Now we are. Okay, so
Okay.
today's episode is called Choosing Your Own Adventure. Or
Hmm.
did you? Or did you? So this is where we talk about building a life that we were taught to want, but maybe we don't necessarily want it. And I think a lot of people kind of have some underlying feeling of like, I didn't really choose my life. And it's kind of like you just keep clicking next, agree,
Sure.
agree. And then like something comes back. They're like in the terms and conditions. You're like, I didn't read that shit. What are you talking
That
about?
was
And
in
you're
the
like,
fine print. I never read that.
it clearly said it. And so, yeah, we agree to stuff. And then we're like, wait, did I agree to that?
Mhm.
Hold on. That's crazy. And you get to a place where you're like, wait a minute. Why do I have responsibilities I
Mhm.
don't remember subscribing
How do
to?
I get off this ride?
How do I get off this
on.
ride? And so what happens often is there is a script we're unaware of and no one hands it to you. It just kind of like installs in the background. Like all of a sudden you're using your computer and you're like, where did I get this? What is this program? It's like, it's just running in the background. Don't pay attention. It's
Don't look.
fine. It's fine. Cookies and all kinds of stuff. Why do they call it that, by the way?
I don't know.
Like, can someone explain that?
I know. Yeah.
So suddenly you're operating on be smart, be stable, don't mess this up. And your nervous system is like, great, we love a plan. We safe here.
Mhm.
And so we're just going to proceed.
We're gonna go with the flow.
So how it happens, it's never like one big decision that we're like, was this the pivotal thing? It's a series of small things where you go, yeah, that makes sense. Or, yeah, that's probably right. Or, yeah, I guess that's what's next. How many people felt that? Like our generation, especially, the script was, you're going to college.
Oh,
The
absolutely.
end. There is no gap year.
Mm-mm.
There is no you taking some time off. You going to figure it
No.
out. No, the script was you graduate from high school. First of all, graduating from high school, non-negotiable.
Non-negotiable.
But then also, at least for my generation, college too felt non-negotiable.
Yeah.
So that was the script. And if you
Mhm.
deviate from that, it was like, like you're messing this up.
We had like the you were either gonna graduate and work full time and move out.
Oh, I don't even feel like that was an
Yeah,
option.
that was an option for us.
Okay.
You were gonna work full time, but you're getting out. Like you're gonna fully be, and I think
You're
that's
hitting the skids.
yeah. I mean, so it was like college was presented as the like default, obviously, like work full time and move out and pay for myself from 18 on, or go for 4 years to college. So most of us were like, well, I'm gonna take the college route because that
So someone
sounds
else could pay
much
for it.
better.
Yeah,
So
okay.
yeah, we did that, but like those were the options presented.
Right,
It was
and
not like a come home for a while, figure it out. That was not an
figure it
option.
out. Yeah. And so it feels like, yeah, we get presented with that. Like you're either hitting the skids or you're
Yep.
going to college. And you're like, yeah. And so you convince yourself in your head, you're like, that was a choice I made. Was it though? Like, was that a choice?
Did I think of anything else? Nope.
Yeah. And so suddenly you're like comparing interest rates. You're emotionally attached to a refrigerator or a coffee maker.
Right?
Yep.
Mortgages.
Saying we should refinance.
Mhm.
Like, you know what that shit means? And everyone's like, this is such a big milestone.
Yes.
And you're like, is it?
Yeah. And like you said, like even after college, that fourth year, your senior year, you
Mhm.
start, everyone's question your senior year is,
Mhm.
we're going to work. We're going to get that job.
Well, what's the question in your senior year of high school? Where are you going to
college,
college? What's
right?
your major?
So like you're right. The options are presented to you right away,
Mhm.
very forcefully.
It's a script.
And you're told, click which one you want, but like, here's your options. And
Right.
it's usually very
But there's
limited.
not really, we're going to pretend like there's options, but there's not. Like
No.
that button, you try to click on it, it's grayed out. And you're like, that
Right.
doesn't make any sense. Is there no more
You
of
keep
that
telling
option
everyone, you're
left?
like, wait, is there when they're like, nope, don't look any further. These are your only two.
No, the other options are grayed out because too many people chose them. You are left with this. You're going to go to school. You're getting your 4-year degree in communications or business or education,
Mhm.
period, the end.
Yep.
You get super points if you want to go to med school or law school.
Yes. Yeah.
Yay
True.
for you. And so why does this happen? It happens because that version of life gets highly rewarded. And as human beings, we are wired to repeat behavior that is pleasurable. And so approval feels pleasurable for a lot of people. We are wired to repeat behaviors that offer
Right.
us that. So you did the right things and you get approval and stability because your brain's main goal is not fulfillment. It's don't ruin everything.
Yes.
right?
which is anxiety at its core, right? Don't make the mistake, make the right choice, don't get everybody mad at you.
So if you ever at any point start questioning your life, like, do I want to go to college? Like,
Mhm,
do I want to buy do I want to get married?
mhm,
And that feels less like growth and it feels more like, hey, what if we just destabilize everything for fun? And you're like, hard pass. I'm
mhm,
not doing that. So one of the things I think that comes up a lot right now, especially for like elder millennial generation, is like buying a house. Buying a house is wild,
mm,
right? Because on paper, it looks like stability. You are like, you have made it.
mm,
If you purchase, I have never owned a home, right? I
mhm.
in my life, I've never owned a
Okay.
home. And I will also tell you this. I have never lived in a home, resided in a home that was owned and not rented. My entire life, I have lived in rented homes, the entirety of my entire life, which is crazy when I say it out loud. But people are probably like, for real?
Yeah.
Yeah, for real. I've never lived in a home that was owned by somebody other than a landlord.
When you said a home equals stability, I get it existentially,
Cognitively, that makes sense.
but
But
I
the
feel
reality
like,
ain't it.
yeah, but when you own a home, I don't know that you ever feel like, financially and then things break and you've got to fix things. And so it's like,
Well, that's what it is. It looks
yeah.
on paper like stability. And I think for my generation, huge goal, which it is not a feasible goal in the same way it was for
Mhm.
our parents' generation.
No,
Like
it's
you could
not.
buy a house for like 30, 60 grand. You
Yeah.
can't, you need 30 and 60 grand just to show up at the table
Oh
to
my
even
God.
consider purchasing a house. And forget around here,
No,
forget it.
we live in fear of like an HVAC crisis.
Yeah. And that's what it is. Like, so on paper, it looks like stability, but internally, your brain quietly kind of upgrades it
Mhm.
to exactly what you said. We must maintain this at all costs. And this is where anxiety sneaks in. So it's
Sure
this
thing.
low, constant hum of don't mess this up, don't fall behind, don't lose this, keep it all together. And the second you complete one step, the next one loads. No pause, no like, are you enjoying this? Just what's next? What's next? What's
Sure.
next? And then you go from that. So depending on like your timeline of things, you get married. And I don't know if anyone watches Love is Blind, but Nick and Vanessa Lachey are the co hosts of that show. It's not working. But
Oh,
here's what happens you get married,
I
and
feel like I
suddenly
needed some more
you,
information on
you
that.
do. I'm going to give it to you.
Okay.
Vanessa Lachey, she at the reunion with her, she didn't even have cards. She has a teleprompter. She fancy, not me
Okay.
and my like
We have
printed
cards.
out cards. But she, without fail, the people they get on there, they, if they find love and they sight unseen, blah blah blah, they get married. So when are we having babies?
Oh,
Without fail,
Jesus.
you get that energy. But she's not the only one. If you get married and then you go out into the
Yes.
ether, somebody, a stranger at the supermarket, like, congratulations, when are you going to have kids?
Yeah.
What? Like, that is
I'm
crazy.
hoping that's generationally stopping because I know I would never ask that question. I'm hoping there's like an age gap now where we are not asking.
I
We're
don't
not asking,
know.
are you getting married hopefully anymore? We're not
Yes,
asking.
we are. Oh,
Oh,
people still doing that. Especially now when you got a lab grown diamond, they're like, I see no reason why not
uh,
to. Right. But no less
you can buy that at
no, the
Costco. Let's
energy is
go.
like, so when we having a baby,
Oh God.
so now your uterus getting calendar invites from other
Jesus.
people.
I'm just trying to get through the days.
I'm just trying to
Jesus.
live.
Pay the bills.
Yes. And then you add in like a cultural
Yeah.
family layer
Yeah.
to these like inherited goals, is what they're
Hmm.
called. And so if you grew up with pressure, it wasn't a suggestion. It was a contract. It
Hmm.
was a script. But beyond a script, it was like, here's what you follow. The contract was you have agreed to follow this. You just don't even
Yeah.
know that you did so. And so you hear it. We did not sacrifice anything for you to follow your heart, go to art school.
We didn't follow our dreams. You're not going to follow
Yeah, for
yours.
you to figure it out. You want to try things, try what? Joy? We don't do that here. We do stability. We don't know her. Joy? Who's she?
Mm-mm.
No, thank you. And so it feels way less like a choice and more like don't disappoint the entire bloodline.
Absolutely.
Don't let the lineage down.
Mhm.
And you're like, shit, that's a lot of
Yeah. Yeah.
right? And that's where the
Yes.
anxiety of like, don't fuck it up, don't screw it up,
Yep.
right? And cultural, like if you come from a family of immigrants or your family
Mhm.
comes from a different socioeconomic situation, we
Yes.
do that because we want better for our kids. Like
Yeah.
I can say that as a mom, I want better for my kid,
Absolutely.
right? And a lot of that comes with we want stability.
Mhm.
If we didn't have that, we want that for our kids. And in our brain, clearest path forward to stability, owning a home, getting married,
Yep.
having children, having a good job.
That's right.
I don't
Yeah.
know about you, but when you have all those things, like I feel like that's some of the most unstable times you be having.
I'm telling you, like that whole ownership thing, I'm like, we are stressed on the daily. We hear a rattle
Yeah.
at night. We're like, oh, Jesus, what broke now? How much
Please
is it
say it
gonna
ain't so.
cost?
Get the duct
Oh my
tape.
God.
Get the duct tape.
Seriously. And that's no joke. We got things duct taped all over that house.
Where's the super glue? I
Absolutely.
know I got some extra from the
Well,
dollar
because
store.
to your point, I think every time you hit that milestone and then
Mhm.
everyone tells you what the next one is, you're like, oh my God, I thought I was going to get a break and just sit in this one for a
No.
little while. But you get married and you're like, okay, well, you're when are you going to have kids? You're like, oh, okay. So I guess I'm going to move to the kid thing now. But then there are sacrifices that come with that part, right?
Mhm.
So those same people who told you to go to college because we sacrificed for you and we want you to have better, and you did go to college, but now you have a child. And now you're like, do I stay home? Can I stay home? Is that possible? Is my job going to pay for daycare? And so that's a whole nother level of stress. And a lot of women will struggle too with getting their degrees, working these great jobs, having a child, deciding they'd like to stay at home, right? I want to be home with my kid, but there's a guilt they have because of the degree they earned, because
Yeah.
of all the
Yeah.
education
Was
that
this a
yes.
waste?
Yeah.
Because if I don't use it, was it a waste?
Right.
It's not good enough that you just learned something and gained an
Right.
education. That's not enough. If you don't apply the education,
Uh-huh.
we're telling you it's useless.
Right.
So it's like,
I think sometimes men will go and get a particular degree and then get a job in something else, and they'll hear from their family members, wow, what a waste of a degree. You got that law degree, you never used it. Now you're, at whatever job you're in now. And they'll talk about how it was like a wasted thing. And so I think that happens a lot.
I would just say learning is a never wasted thing.
Okay.
Yeah. So we just out here living our choose your own, didn't choose this adventure. Don't remember choosing it. And so you have this moment where one day you're just in it and you look around and people might be like, is this when you have a midlife crisis? Because all of a sudden you're just like, I'm scheduling dentist appointments 3 weeks out. I'm
Mhm.
discussing air filters.
I can't stand it when they go, let's make your appointment and it's 6 months out or 12 months out. I'm like, well, you just all assume I'm still going to be doing the same old
Yeah,
thing.
young me is like, I don't know what I'm going to be doing in 6 months. And now she's like, you going to be doing this? I'm like, morning work's great. I'll be ready. Don't worry, I'll be at home. I know exactly where I'm going to be in 6 months from now.
Dermatologist.
No
Like,
problem.
you want to schedule your appointment? I'm like, let's do it.
Yeah, before I'd be like, who knows where I'll be? I know exactly where my ass is going to be. We know where we're gonna be in this
I take
waiting
lunch at
room.
the same time. Let's do the same time next year.
Yes, love it. Love that for me. But yeah, you're having opinions about grout. You're like, I talk about grout
I just
now.
talked about grout the
Do you
other
like
day.
white grout or do you like black grout?
I hate all grout because you have to clean it.
Yeah, with that little toothbrush
Oh
thing.
my God. I hate all grout.
Yeah. And so it's like, why do I feel kind of off in a life that on paper technically works?
Right. And
Right?
I kind of signed up for it. I did all the things. I checked all the boxes.
Yes. Yes. And so then there's this like kind of self-blame that happens. And so instead of questioning the script that we were handed, you start blaming yourself, right? Because you're kind of like, why am I a little bit unhappy and unfulfilled when on paper, like everything looks kind of okay or successful even. And so then you start telling yourself these lies. You ever hear these lies? We should do a podcast. Maybe I just need
the
a vacation.
lies we tell ourselves.
Maybe I need a vacation. How many people be saying that?
Oh my God.
Listen, next
It's
time,
the answer to everything, isn't it?
right?
You just
Next
tell
time
yourself,
someone
"I just need
says
a break."
that, really what they're saying is, I need to change my whole way of living.
Yes.
But that's overwhelming. So how about Jamaica? Like, right? Maybe
I will find my new self in Aruba.
can I drink a coconut water? That will heal me.
Yep.
Right? But then you're like, maybe I need to journal more. Maybe I need to work out more. Maybe I need a better morning routine.
Yep.
Because obviously the problem is I have not optimized my 6 a.m. every day.
Right.
That clearly must be the problem. So there's this like self-blame thing that happens.
Yes.
And meanwhile, your brain is like, psst, tiny observation. We
Got
didn't
the answers if you want it.
Yeah, girl, I love when you say that. Like, we didn't really want this. And like, we're thinking we don't really want this now. Like, you've been working at your job 10 years. You never stop to
Never
ask
liked
yourself,
it.
do you like it? You're like data analyst, account manager. You're like, I don't even know what that means.
Right.
What do you do every day? You're like, I move my mouse so I get a paycheck. I don't
That's right.
know. Right? You're like, that's just what I do.
Yep.
So you didn't mess anything up. You just follow instructions really well.
That's right. We are
Right?
really good at that.
And we're wired to do that because of the approval we get. The approval feels good. We repeat things that feel good.
That's
We
right.
generally try not to. We are wired in our DNA to like not do things that hurt, right? So if you put your hand on a stove, it burns. Most of us, right, get wired. We don't do that thing because it's painful. And so we are really good at following instructions like a teacher's pet.
Right.
Energy.
We do like to make people proud. We like to people
We
please.
do. But now, you're allowed to raise your hand and be like, excuse me, I don't like this assignment.
Right. Is there an alternate universe where I have done something different?
Yes. Yes. So the tool is called, would I sign up for this again? So pick something in your life and ask. Don't do this with your children because I hate people are like, well, if I didn't live my life, I would never have my kids.
Oh,
That's
I
not
was
what I'm
like, where are you
talking.
going with the
Yeah,
kids thing?
that's
Okay.
not because everybody will always be like,
I
I'm
wouldn't have
glad
my
that
kids.
right.
Yes, yes, yes. Okay.
We're not talking about that. Like
Right.
we don't need to die on
Let's
that hill.
extrapolate them
Yeah.
out of here. They're not part of the
So,
variables.
yeah, pick something in your life, like maybe your job, maybe where you live,
Okay.
maybe your house, something like that. If this wasn't already mine,
Mhm.
would I choose it again? And I've worked with clients that are my age that like went and got, the 3,000 square foot home. And then we're like, this feels like a freaking albatross around my neck. Like
It's a
to your point,
trap.
you're like the anxiety of
Yeah.
sustaining it. And some people, even though they still have small children, they're not like empty nesters. They're like,
Mhm.
we're going to downsize because we want to
Yes.
travel more because
Yes.
we want to like buy a second home somewhere. So we're
Mhm.
going
Yep.
to we're going to move into a townhouse because
But
you're
they
like,
asked that question. They were like, "Would we do
would
this
I
again?"
choose this
The
again? And
answer
it's
is
like,
no.
no, I
Don't do it.
wouldn't. So I'm going to so not just well, I would have done shit different. We just
Mhm.
look off into the
Right.
sunset and we're like, well, damn. No, it's
Kinda
like,
passed us
no,
by.
I wouldn't. And what choice can I make
Mhm. Yeah.
today? Right.
Yeah.
That's kind of what this tool is. Would I sign up for this again? And just checking in with aspects of your life,
Mhm.
like your job, or maybe where you live, or your house, or your hobbies, right? Like some people, I have some clients that are like, I go to yoga because it's supposed to be good. I'm like, do you like it? They're like, hell
Hell
no.
no.
I'm like, maybe we stop going.
Mhm.
So it's like thinking about if your life popped up like a house listing, like mild anxiety, great on paper, low grade dread included. Would you be like, hell yes? Or
So
literally, can you show me
show me
anything
anything
else?
else.
Um, and so it's not about like necessarily going and doing something different. It's about changing or just breaking the illusion, which
Mhm.
I think is like the first step of like, well, damn, like I'm
Mhm.
unhappy. Like, hold up.
And
Like,
not being afraid to ask the question.
yeah. So the first step is really just breaking the illusion and doing kind of a pulse check of like, and then looking, are there
Mhm.
opportunities for me to do something different, right? Can I make a career change? Can I sell my house? Can I downsize? Can I travel more? Like, what are the options to be doing that and living a life that feels more fulfilling and
Mhm.
not like the choose my I didn't choose adventure.
I don't know how I got on this boat.
I want off the ride. One of these
One of
days,
these days,
girl.
I think you should wink at me. Yeah.
But sometimes I wink and it's like this for my
Oh,
Bell's palsy. So then it just could look like I'm having like a stroke. I don't know.
or we talked about how on the website it has both of our names, so it looks like we might be married, and then
Oh
you're
my
gonna
gosh,
wink
we
at
did
me.
say that. Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
that's just gonna doubly make it sound
Yeah.
like,
Because
yeah.
we have the same last
Yeah,
name.
people might be confused, we're here for it, that's okay.
Yes.
All right, so speaking of the nearlynormalpodcast.com website, please check us out there. You could email us, talk to us, tell us any ideas you have about episodes, give us feedback, we'd love to hear it. We're also on TikTok, on YouTube, and on Instagram, so check us out there.
And until next time, stay nearly normal.